I have a challenge for you, and the challenge is very simple. I challenge you to choose joy every day for the next 365 days. Choose joy every day for an entire year. You can do it. It's possible. In fact, you're commanded to do it in the Bible. We deal with too much frustration and sorrow and depression. God says you can choose joy. Jesus died and rose again so you can choose joy. Let me read to you Philippians chapter 4 and verse 4. Paul says, "Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say, rejoice." Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. There's a couple things I want you to see in this verse. First, choose joy. It's a command, not a feeling. He doesn't say feel joy, feel happy, feel joyful. He says choose joy. No matter what's going on around you, choose joy. You say, how can I do that? Well, you choose joy in the Lord. The Lord makes it possible to choose joy. The second thing I want you to see is it's a lifestyle and not an event. You can choose joy every day. The verb tense is such that you can translate it, keep on choosing joy. Keep on rejoicing. And again, I say rejoice in the Lord always, all the time, over and over, again and again, no matter what. Keep choosing joy. Then I want you to understand the third thing is it's always possible. No matter what you're going through. You say, Dave, I'm going through a horrible season in my life. And God says, I understand. Choose joy. Think about this. This verse was written by the Apostle Paul. Where was he when he wrote it? He was in a Roman prison. In fact, Nero's personal prison for political prisoners who were about to be executed. The reality is, Paul actually was executed a few years later. So he was in the worst of circumstances. This was a lifestyle for him. From the moment he got saved, he was persecuted, he was attacked, he was abandoned by his own family. He was beaten, he was thrown in prison, he was arrested again and again. He was stoned and left for dead, but yet he kept choosing joy. And he tells us to choose joy, and we can do it in the Lord. You can choose joy no matter what. There's at least 3 reasons why we can always choose joy. 1, God uses difficulties to develop us. James says this. He says, count it, choose joy when you fall into various trials and tribulations, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And endurance, when it continues, produces spiritual maturity. So choose joy because God uses difficulties to develop us. Second, you can choose joy because God turns bad things into greater good things. Paul says in Romans 8, we know that all things, even bad things, work together for good to those that love God and are called according to His purpose. We know the story of Joseph. He had one bad thing after another. He was kidnapped. He was sold into slavery. He was lied about. He was falsely accused. He was thrown into prison as an innocent man. He kept choosing joy. And God used every bit of it to position him and prepare him to become the prime minister of the greatest nation in the world at that time, Egypt. And from that position, he saved them from starvation, as well as his own family, the beginning Hebrew nation. And he says this at the end of his life. He says, everything that the enemy has meant for evil, God has meant for good. God can take the bad you're experiencing right now and turn it into greater good if you keep choosing joy. Third thing is, today's difficulties aren't going to equal eternity's glories. They won't compare. The Apostle Paul says in Romans 8, for the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that will be revealed in us. He says in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, we don't give up no matter what's happening to us, no matter what's happening around us, because all of that is just a light and momentary affliction compared with the eternal weight of glory we will have in heaven in Christ Jesus. Friend, in Jesus, you can always choose joy. Choose joy 365 days this year.